Welcome back, the 5 people that are actually subscribed, and to the hopefully a few more, because I really want to get to 69. Not because I give a shit, but it's pretty understandable that I'd want to get to 69. Now, as you can see by today's title, this is another HeNTAi review. Shocker. It's kind of the only thing I do around here. If my brother wouldn't shut the fuck up! Seriously. Every time I record, you're making a fucking face. Outside of the camera, I swear to God, I will smack you. I'm gonna eat all the Pop-Tarts in front of you, and you're not gonna get a damn one of them. If you don't, I have a thing. I actually wrote a script today, okay? Fuck you. Sit down. Put that down. Put it down. Put it down. Down. Alright, back to what we were doing. Now, the newest of the Dr. Doujinshi's HeNTAi review is by the name of, you already read the title, but Suketto Sanjou, episode 1, because there was a 1 in the name, and it is probably one of the more recent ones to come out. At least it was the most recent to be published on the site that I use. Shout out to HAnime.tv. Thank you for your content and for your replacement after HeNTAi Haven Sun was taken from us. We miss you, buddy. You're my boy, Blue. Doing that voice fucks you up. Now, this is done by a personal favorite company of mine, Pink Pineapple. And I gotta say, when I say a personal favorite company of mine, that's not like a joke that I saw on Twitter and I decided to go with it. I actually looked back on some of the videos that I had reviewed, and a lot of the better ones were done by Pink Pineapple. The ones with lesser quality were done by different people, and I will start naming off those people in videos that I do about each one, because I feel like I should start giving them more recognition, and I found an old composition book, so I can actually have a script this time. So, step 1 for me has been fulfilled. Get a script. Now the next 10 steps are going to require money and time. And luckily, my brother has got a job, and I am a lazy son of a bitch and will be taking most of it to help fund this. So maybe this will actually all be in 1080p at some point. Or at least not recorded on a crap top that costs about $200. That being said, let's get into the review. Now, this review is about a singular episode, of which I hope there are more, because there was only one episode out right now, and it just came out about 12 hours ago. Oh, unfortunately, 12 hours ago for me is 2 in the afternoon, and I still live in a house with my family, and it'd be a little weird if I was just sitting there watching HeNTAi in the front seat. So usually I gotta watch all this stuff in the late afternoon when everybody's asleep and I have some time to myself. There's a popcorn kernel in my fucking throat and I'm gonna start coughing. I'm a doctor. I don't get diseases. I get popcorn kernels in my throat, as well as other things. Meh. Fellas out there, send me the pics. And ladies, I don't discriminate. That being said, this singular episode is loaded with stuff. There are 3 scenes amongst the entire thing. There is, and they kind of fill those up with some stuff. There's just a lot of content. Not even content, content. Actual content. You just got an update for a video game and there's content, not just more guns. That being said, there is 10 categories on this one, and all of them are fucking awesome. It's got one of my personal favorites, Dark Skin. Thank you, Jesus. Thank the Lord. The crusade can continue thanks to these gifts from God himself. 10 categories with 1 platinum category. dark skin, thank you. And it's 18 minutes ish, give or take 30 seconds, or give or take a minute. That being said, they kind of pack a lot into this because it is. The more that I think about it, the more I like personally think like, is this gonna be in my top 10? And I don't say that lightly. Like, I got into anime when I was 10. I got into hentai when I was 10 in 3 days. Yeah, it hits like a truck. That being said, here is the synopsis for it, as I have kindly written down. Company baseball teams go up against each other. Main character's opposing team brings in bikini-clad, English-speaking American, who is supposedly their trump card, as you say. The main character's team brings in a bikini-clad, dark-skinned character of their own. Bikini baseball versus bikini baseball, but tanned. Things are looking up over here on my side of the bench. Then, both of them start making jokes and bets amongst themselves. The blonde one, who is going up against the main character, the classic main character, who has the hair a little bit too far in front of his eyes so you can't see anything, and they don't have an excuse not to write the eyes. That being said, the main character starts having jokes thrown at him by the blonde, the non-dark-skinned character, who makes jokes about him being a virgin and says that if she wins, she's going to take that from him. And from the dark-skinned female, who we are all rooting for. The blonde wins. Spoiler. Blonde wins. The blonde then fucks both of them. She gets to be the sandwich meat. The dark-skinned is in the front, bent over a rail in the middle of public as people are celebrating their whole thing. Luckily, they're celebrating so hard they don't notice the sandwich going on as it goes. Dark-skinned character getting pegged by the blonde character that's super lewd and is supposed to be a representation of an American character in an anime setting. And the one at the very end is the actual main character who gets to use my nose itched, the back door, per se. Oh, things are heating up in the dome. Then, afterwards, after the act itself, the blonde then sets the dark-skinned character up with the main character, and then kind of sets them up on a date. What really happens is that the blonde character and the main character decide that they want to go out on a date, but as a form of punishment, the blonde character skips out on the entire thing, just to make the dark-skinned character go out with the main character. They end up having a fun time and getting to know each other. They end up going on the full date that lasts the entire day to where they find themselves inexplicably stuck in a room. Ooh, at a love motel. Never would have seen that coming. Obviously shook and disturbed. Exactly what you think happens at the love motel. It's not even a question. Not even gonna make a joke about it. Exactly what you think happens. And it is glorious. Writing a script has made my mood for all of this a lot better because I did not have this much energy last time I did this, and I'm having a fucking fantastic time. That being said, let's continue on with it. Now, after they hook up in the love motel, it says, end. It ends right there. It ends with a little bit of a throwaway joke that ends up setting up for the next episode, which I hope they do because this was fucking amazing. Dang. It was well done with surprising moments, but overall, 7 out of 10. And why did I write that? I am getting worse at this. The animation itself, like I said, well done with surprising moments. Now, there are some parts in it where you can see the animation is choppy, where it'll go from one scene to the next in like a slideshow pattern. But those are very few and far between in the 18 minutes that this is around. For the scenes that are very surprising, they are mostly based around the baseball section in the beginning. When they're playing baseball against each other, the animation is surprisingly good. Like, I don't even know how to describe it when it says surprisingly good. Like, it just shows up. Because I was going to say, like, oh, they had a baseball scene that was surprisingly good. What else has a baseball scene that's surprisingly good? That new Trigger anime that came out recently. Oh, wait, I should probably not compare Trigger animation to hentai animation, even though they're both about baseball and they are both still being made. Even though the baseball is not a sectional part in the actual anime, but let's continue on with the script. Now, the characters themselves are kind of focused more on a comedy aspect rather than a personal aspect. This is very much a joking. We're going to make fun of each other and develop a lot of that all the way until somebody has the hand down the pants or down somebody else's pants, and it is awesome. The jokes in it actually make you laugh. They're not the typical best way I can describe it is Japanese humor, where it usually relies on somebody saying something, somebody responding, and then a overdone reaction of the background characters. You know the type where somebody will say something, a person will respond stupidly but confidently, and the people listening to him at the back will go, and then they'll pass out. Kind of like a whole Phoenix Wright thing where they'll just like, you'll make a stupid accusation, and then the jury will just pass out onto the floor. Some shit like that. It happens a lot in Pokemon. Very easy to understand and very easy to find. Overall, the comedically focused characters are an 8 out of 10. And the reason I say 8 out of 10 is because I actually liked a lot of the characters for how their jokes went around. You'd think it'd be weird to rate people who are essentially porn stars making jokes, but I have found some of the funniest scenes in a lot of things that I've watched in porn. And it's all fucking funny. That being said, I do watch a lot of movies that aren't sex related. This just happens to be a fun thing that I do on YouTube. So let's continue on with what we're doing. Now, the content. 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 You can't see it, but my mouth is super open right now. Enjoy. The content itself is not exactly super varied for what it is, because it is kind of vanilla for what it is, but where it is vanilla, it is the best kind of vanilla. This isn't the vanilla you get by the gallon at the Dollar General because you're low on money and you can't afford good stuff. This is you going out and getting premium vanilla bean in ice cream. You go out and you get it and you think, oh, this costs about $2 more than what the gallon would be, but tastes fucking fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, and there's a little bit of the better part that you'd never expect. I'm trying to say that there's a lot of vanilla in this, but the parts that aren't vanilla are good as fuck. Even the vanilla is great. That being said, my favorite flavor of ice cream is Rocky Road. Mostly because I like the marshmallow parts in it. That was a joke. My favorite flavor is Heath. The candy. It's awesome. Now, what I've written down, because I don't remember actually writing it, because I have really poor memory. I literally wrote this 20 minutes ago. The content, not super varied in what it is, but what it does insanely well. Well, with good timing in between it. There's certain parts where it'll have a few minutes in between to kind of establish what they're doing, so it's not just a mindless compilation of sex scenes thrown together. And the... what did I put? Oh yeah, the most important distinction of what this rating would be. Done well for what it is, and for the vanilla aspects that it is very good in how it does it. That being said, 8 out of 10. I underlined this multiple times. Hot as shit, would fap again. Thank you, past me. You are a man of culture. I thank you. Now, my overall score would be, and I know this is probably what people usually skip forward into the video for, or at least get bored 2 minutes in, but I'm going to do it anyway because this is fun for me, and I feel like it's fun for a lot of the people out there watching. The overall score, 8 out of 10. Small problems that really add up to nothing in particular, but the shortened length of it and the comedy focus usually means that it's guarded from being an actual 10 out of 10. Because there are some things that can lead into your character being good without just being joke-based. A perfect example of that is Konosuba, where there is a lot of jokes, but the actual characters are built into the jokes. Very well done. A personal favorite of mine, besides Konosuba, is Ms. Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Very fun, very light in what it does, and it's wholesome for what it is. Even though there is a lot of comedy based around the characters, you actually get a feel for what they do, even though it is mostly just jokes. Now, that being said, overall score 8 out of 10 would show to my church group and get the Lord Jesus himself into this room so we can thank him for the creation and presentation of dark-skinned anime woman. Gifts from God cannot be thanked enough. For the only reason I wear this mask is that he may call upon me once again, and the crusade shall continue. I didn't realize I was doing a Jim Carrey impersonation until about 16 minutes into this whole joke, so I'm going to continue doing it until eventually I write a different script that says don't put Jim Carrey impersonation on it unless it works out for what it is. Because I just found out that Swagger Souls pretty much sounds like Ray Romano with a cold all the time. So, two guys doing weird voices in a crusade mask. Not comparing myself, I'm just saying, he wishes he could be what I am, because I am drop dead gorgeous. Now, a bonus highlight that I did not get to talk about that I am very glad that I wrote down. There is a little thing that's in anime, overall, that's in many mediums that are usually not done for a specific language, but are known for being marketed toward that language. That being said, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is probably one of the best examples of this. There are a few other examples, like Hellsing Ultimate, Alexander Anderson, and his famous Show Up, where he speaks what's known as, not particularly, a very, very heavily accented Japanese saying English words, properly known in the weeb community as English. English. Not very good English, but it's technically English nonetheless. JoJo's is probably one of my favorite examples of this because it uses it all the time, and I have rewatched that show twice now. One with the sub, one with the dub. I watched the dub first because I'm American and I can do what I fucking want. Now, this one contains a lot of that, and it is... Oh, Lord, I'm getting the vapors. It is fucking phenomenal. Do you know what it's like to see two scantily clad anime women playing baseball with each other? One of them is speaking perfect Japanese and getting very angry, and you're thinking, oh my god, she's adorable. And then it cuts over to the blonde person who's pitching the ball as fast as she possibly can and speaking broken as shit English with a heavy Japanese accent. And then it goes to the announcer who is also speaking insanely broken English very loudly, so you kind of don't notice it. It is amazing, and it is a very good experience that I feel like a lot of people should know about. Now, that being said, I am 19 minutes and 22 seconds in, and I don't want this to hit 20 minutes. So, that being said, my brother will take over the next video. I will be back in a few days, just so I can continue on with the content. So, as always, Dr. Doujinshi has signed out for the day. And don't forget to wash your fucking hands, or I will show up at your house and crusade them off into 1,000 pieces. Have a nice day, and stay safe. Bye, guys.